So, a very good morning to everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Priyanshi Goel, and today I am here to give you a detailed explanation for the topic what is community discovery in social graphs. So, let's start this video by first of all understanding what is social graphs. So, a social graph simply means the network of people and their connections on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. So, here each person is shown as a node and the relationship between two people is shown as a link or an edge. Like we all know that we have some data structures like graph. In graph data structure, it is also like a collection of links and edges and vertices, right? So here also the vertices are represented as nodes, and the relationship or the connection between these two vertices is represented by an edge, right? So same here comes with the persons also. Here each person in this particular network is shown as a node, and the relationship between two people is shown by a link or an edge. For example, if I have 500 friends on Facebook, so I am one node and I am connected to 501 nodes, right? So this is like having one connection with other nodes, and this connection is called as your link or edges. Okay, so basically a social graph is a big map of how people are connected online, right? So let's continue with the next topic, that is understanding of the community discovery. What do you mean by community discovery? So community discovery means finding a group of people in a large social group who are more connected to each other than to others outside the same group, right? I hope once again we'll let us understand in simple terms. Like I have a group of 17 people. We are a group of 17 people, friends of 17 people. Now out of those 17 people, there are a group of 3 people who are much more connected with each other in comparison to other people. Therefore definitely those 17 people are definitely friends, they are friends. But out of those 17 people, there exists a group of 3 people who are much more closer friends in comparison to those. Apart from it, we have group of 4 people. Subgroups exist between each groups which have more connection in comparison to outside groups. So same comes the concept here also, that is community discovery here. For examples, we have college groups also, cricket fan group, or a food blogger community. These are all smaller communities within a big social networks, right? It helps us understand how people forms the group naturally based on their interest or relationships, right? Okay, so this was community discovery. Let's discuss how these are connected to big data. Definitely we are talking about big data only, so if there is no connection between big data with this terminologies, no use of discussing this term. So first of all, understanding what is big data. Big data, as the name itself suggests, data having big size. That is a data which is so large, so massive in volume, in size, that it cannot be analyzed and processed using traditional methodologies, right? It's so large data. We cannot process it using some normal methods. We need some big data tools, technologies, real world frameworks, cloud-based technologies, etc. Okay, so and we all know that there are 5 characteristics of big data: volume, velocity, veracity, value, and variety. So these 5 characteristics makes big data somewhat essential to understand, right? Okay, how these are connected with big data, let's understand deeply. Social media platforms have millions and even billions of users, and every user generates a huge amount of data, like likes, comments, posts, shares, tags, photos, videos, etc., right? So a single user generates a lot many data. What about millions of people connect together and generates lots of data? So single user generating a lot of data. So just even imagine how much data would be generated by connecting connection of all those kinds of people. So definitely a very huge amount of data, and there comes the concept of big data in community discovery, as we are all discussing about social media platforms only in community discovery. So when we analyze all these connections together, it becomes a massive data set, which is also called as big data, what we call as big data. So community discovery uses big data tools to analyze this large amount of social data and find meaningful patterns and groups from those data, because at the end our main purpose is to find the meaningful information and get the values from the particular data, right? So here in this particular slide I have given just a mere terminologies, some mere data, a raw data which gives us an insights about what actual data is present or what actual data we get from social media platforms, right? So nearly about 3 billion plus of active users are present on social media platform. On social media platforms we have nearly about 3 billion plus of users, active users, who are actually using that particular platforms. Apart from it, 500 million plus of daily interactions exist between those people, which means that a single users does like, comments, shares, and messaging a lot many activities are involved by a single user. So after connection of all many people, after including all the people, we generate nearly about 500 million plus of daily interactions. Right now, from this active users and from this daily interaction, nearly about 100 TB plus of data is generated every day from this social media activity worldwide. Right, so this data, you can just imagine, it's so large in size, that is analyzing it, processing it using traditional methodology would just become a failure. So we therefore require some big data technologies and advanced algorithm to process them effectively, right? Okay, so let's discuss why community discovery actually matters. Okay, so community discovery is very important in today's digital world. It helps companies and social platforms to, first of all, understand the user interest and behavior. Secondly, give the personalized recommendation. Definitely, that becomes very much important for the normal, e-commerce websites also. Like, they also understand their customer behavior to give their personalized recommendation of the products. Definitely, that would increase their sales also and give customer satisfaction. Right? Thirdly, do targeted marketing to the right audience. First of all, it's very important that right audience are targeted for their particular marketing, right? Fourthly, detect fake or spam accounts. Definitely that work is to be done very fast, because nowadays, since data technologies are advancing, people are getting into a wrong way. They started doing fake spam accounts. Credit card fraud detection systems also uses this types of discoveries to identify any kind of fraud activities. Nowadays, a lot many things are happening, which makes it important to understand community discovery in social graphs. Okay, and lastly, improve the overall user experience on the platform. Definitely, since user experience matters a lot, if you are not good enough, you are not facing good and comfortable on using that particular platform, you won't be using that platform. So user experience matters a lot, because that will give you relevant friends groups and content suggestion based on your interest. Right, so basically it helps make online platforms smarter and more user friendly in comparison to others. Right, okay, now let's discuss detection algorithms. How many types of advanced detection algorithms we have for detecting all kinds of activities. So very first comes label propagation algorithm. So here the group the in which the groups user by checking how strongly they are connected. Here in this particular algorithm, we group those people by checking that how strongly they are connected to each other. Next comes the graph partitioning, which means that which divides the bigger network into smaller cluster. The complete network is divided into smaller clusters by itself. Third comes modularity based methods, which is a Lovian algorithm, I suppose, in which it groups the users by checking how strongly they are connected. Label propagation algorithm, where nodes keep sharing labels until stable groups forms. And graph partitioning, as I told you, divides the bigger network into smaller network. We also have spectral clustering, and many more algorithms exist apart from this detection algorithms. So these algorithm helps the computer automatically detect communities even in the network with the millions of users. We have those millions of users, but then too it will detect the communities from those people and will give you the relevant suggestion based on what you actually demands. Okay. Next comes big data implementation stack, which means that to handle such massive amount of data, we need big data technologies. It's very obvious. So some common tools which will help in doing such kind of activities is Apache Hadoop and Apache Spark. So for storing and processing of larger data sets, we require these kinds of technologies, that is Apache Hadoop and Apache Spark. Second framework, or we can say technology, comes GraphX or Neo4j, which means it is useful for analyzing and visualizing the social graphs. Right, we have social graphs also, as I told you, where people connects and all those connection vertices, all these are represented. So for analyzing and visualizing such graphs, we need GraphX and Neo4j. These are also very important technologies. Third comes machine learning libraries. These are used for smarter prediction and pattern detection. We all know that machine learning, these are used for prediction. For machine is actually used for prediction work, right? So this particular libraries can be used for smarter prediction and pattern detections. So together these tools forms a big data implementation stack for community discovery. Okay, so Next, let's discuss its real world applications. Why we are discussing this real world application is because computer discovery is so much useful in real world application. For example, if we talk about Facebook, so it is used, Facebook uses this computer discovery to suggest people you may know. Right, we all know that in Facebook we have a section people you may know, and in many Instagram also, and many more platforms we have a section people you may know. So this type of section is generated suggestion you get in Facebook just because of the community discovery. Second comes Twitter. So Twitter uses community discovery to find the groups around trending hashtags. Okay. Third comes LinkedIn. LinkedIn recommends professional circles or groups using community discovery. Fourth is e-commerce platform. So it uses it to suggest similar products or customer groups, right? Its main purpose is to suggest people about similar products or customer groups. So it's widely used in almost every digital platform we use daily. Okay, so let's discuss how it impacts the business. You are definitely doing community discovery and using big data technologies, but how it impacts business, because the ultimate goal of using such kinds of things is to improve the business organizations, in boost their performance, right? So community discovery is super useful for them also. It helps companies identify the potential customer groups. Who are their potential customers? It helps them to identify this kinds of thing. Secondly, plan the targeted ad campaigns. We have to generate the advertisements also, we have to target those ad campaigns, so it helps in that work also. Thirdly, understand the customer needs. You have to understand customer needs, because at the end your main motto is customer satisfaction, because if the customer would be satisfied, he would be giving you good feedback and at the end boost the company's performance, right? So understanding the customer needs becomes one of the important thing. And last comes the improve sales and engagement. You have to improve sales and engagement also. So basically it turns the raw social data into valuable business insights that supports decision making, because ultimate goal of business organization is to do better decision making, which will help them give value and profit to the business organization, right? So therefore community discovery matters a lot, and it gives businesses a useful impact. So this was all about community discovery, social graphs, how it is useful in big data, everything. So at last, I would like to conclude this particular video by saying some of the words like community discovery in social graph is all about finding hidden groups and patterns in huge social networks. It uses the power of big data and graph analytics to understand people, interest, and interactions. Right? It not only helps the social media platforms improves the user experience, but it also helps businesses makes it smarter, data-driven decisions also, right? So the overall it's powerful combination of data, technology, and human behavior understanding makes it super useful. Okay, so this was all about community discovery in social graphs and how it is useful in big data implementation. So thank you so much. I hope you understand this particular video. Thank you.